as of the latest FEC filings, the RNC, the NRSC for the Senate, and the NRCC for Congress combined are sitting on roughly $256 million. That's compared to about $126 million combined for the DNC, DSCC, and DCCC. Now, remember, the Democrats are carrying $18 million in debt on top of all of that. The DNC itself has they've basically been broke. They're the ones with the $18 million in debt. They wasted millions on that idiotic referendum in Virginia that tried to redraw their congressional map 10-1, Democrat to Republican, that the courts struck down. It was a total failure, total waste of money. By contrast, the RNC alone has $125 million with zero debt, the highest cash total in that committee's history. Even CNN is reporting that the RNC has a 7-1 fundraising advantage over the DNC. Absolutely extraordinary stuff. And yet, as it turns out, that's nothing. That's literally the tip of the iceberg. And that's largely thanks to the Supreme Court. Now, I don't know how many of you saw this, but back in June 30th, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 in NRSC versus the FEC that the 50-year-old caps on how much national party committees can coordinate spending with their own candidates violate the First Amendment. Those old limits were tiny, anywhere from like $65,000 to $130,000 for House races, and up to about a few million for Senate races, depending on the state. Those limits are now gone. Justice Kavanaugh wrote the majority opinion, joined by Roberts, Thomas, Alito, Gorsuch, and Barrett, and it overturned a 2001 precedent that had stood for a generation. The liberals in the courts, they were absolutely livid. Kagan wrote a furious dissent warning that this turns political parties into a conduit for unlimited donations to a particular candidate. But as it turns out, it appears the liberals are actually panicking precisely because no one's giving to liberal Democrat candidates. Or if they are, like they are with Tallarico in Texas, they're literally just flushing money down the toilet. Regardless, the ruling stands, and it just handed Republicans a massive structural advantage right as the cash keeps piling up. Enter the one and only Donald J. Trump. It is now being reported this week that Trump's own super PAC, MAGA Inc., is sitting on $401 million in cash, the largest war chest of any super PAC in the entire country heading into the midterms. And add to that the $256 million already stacked up across the RNC, NRSC, and the NRCC, and you get north of $650 million just from those four entities alone. But again, that's nothing. Bloomberg is now reporting that with total Republican-aligned money across the full fundraising ecosystem, Trump and the GOP have just officially amassed over $1 billion heading into the midterms. Bloomberg's reporting puts the full Republican financial advantage at roughly triple what Democrats have on hand in terms of their entire fundraising ecosystem. And again, while the Democrats are wrestling with debt, by contrast, Trump has barely touched any of it. He hasn't even spent 1% of that $400 million sitting in MAGA Inc. MAGA Inc. leadership says the money's earmarked for critical Senate races like we're seeing in North Carolina, in Georgia, Michigan, and New Hampshire. Michigan, New Hampshire, and Georgia, those would be all pickups for the GOP. But make no mistake, when that money starts moving, it's going to hit like nothing we've ever seen in a midterm cycle.